Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Sean. Sean is from California in the USA. So let's see what Sean has to say. Enjoy the interview. Now, so how are you, Sean?
I'm good. It's Saturday for me, so I'm not work. I tend to not work many weekends. Sometimes I work on the weekend, but having a good day is my Saturday. That's why I'm glad we're doing this on a day off for me.
Thank you so much for taking the time on your day off and take the time for the interview. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad you asked me. I've seen some of your videos, and I was surprised you asked me because I'm like, okay, I usually don't consider myself somebody who's interesting enough for somebody to want to interview. So I hope it's good.
Anyone can participate in the Magic Box. I strongly believe that all of us, we have a story to tell. I think all of us, we are interesting. There's always something interesting to share with the world about ourselves, for sure. So tell me, where are you from? Where are you from, Sean?
So I currently right now live in San Jose, California. I am not from California, though. I've only been living here for like 5 to 6 years. So I'm not we would call that like a West Coast in America. I know you're from England, so I'm actually an East Coaster. I grew up and was raised in New Jersey and lived in Florida for many years.
Wow.
Prior to coming to California.
I see. And why California?
I don't know. So I was in my mid-30s. I just wanted a change. I was living in Florida for like 15 years. Florida is an incredible state. The weather is beautiful, but the humidity and just there's only one day. There's a saying in Florida, there's 2 seasons, summer and then insane summer. So I wanted a change in scenery. So I thought California would just be an interesting place to move to. I've always wanted to, just to kind of get personal, I always wanted to connect with like the gay side of me. So I thought like maybe if I go to San Francisco and like get around like an environment that is a lot more in the community. So that's kind of what drove me here. I wanted to check it out. I thought Silicon Valley would be a great place to live. It would have great opportunities and it would just be a good change for my life.
In your family, I see. And all your family, they are back in Florida?
No, my family's in New Jersey, actually.
I see.
So I have one family member in Florida, but my family and my are really like New Jersey, outside of Philadelphia area.
I see. And so far, what's the best part of living in California?
The best part, I want to say that I feel like you can do anything within a day trip. Like I can go up to Lake Tahoe and go skiing. But the same day, I could drive down to LA and go to the beach, or I can go to Santa Cruz or down to the Mexico border because we go to Tijuana and often. So I just feel like everything's within a day trip. I go to Vegas often too, where we just drive to the desert. And that's another thing too. Like I can go to the desert. It just feels like you can do so many different things within a day trip. I
see. And what do you do for a living, Sean?
I work in finance, so I would consider my profession like an FP&A. I have an accounting degree.
I see. Right.
Very boring.
No, not at all. I think every job there is the boring and there is the exciting part as well. I know it's early morning. I think it's 9 o'clock in the morning there in California. Yeah?
Correct. Yes.
And are you more of a day person or a night person?
So to be transparent, I mean, I wake up early every morning, but I tend to have a racing mind. So even though I try to go to bed early every night, I tend to get insomnia a lot. So I only sleep like 3 to 4 hours a night. I don't consider myself a night person. It just seems to be when my mind races, but I do wake up at 5 a.m. every morning.
Wow. Early birds.
I have to start work by 7 a.m. I have to log. So I work from home. I have to get into my computer. A lot of mornings I'm logging in at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I need time to wake up and ground myself before I start that.
Amazing. Okay, Sean, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yes. I've seen some of your videos, so I'm a little. I even got my little like transition music dance now.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. full of random fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Let's
I told
do
you
it.
I had the answer ready.
Okay, Sean, before we start the game, during the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay? It's all very friendly.
It's all good.
First question for you.
I might be politically correct with my answers, but it's all good.
First question for you is, what's the weirdest food combination have you ever tried?
The weirdest food combination? Oh, that's a weird question. I can't even think of it. Because I cook a lot and I tend to mix things that I would say taste good. What's the weirdest thing I've ever put together? I would say anything involving pineapple. Pineapple, anytime I feel like you add it to something that changes the flavor profile drastically. So I'd say like mixing that with some like vegetables and meat, that tends to get a little weird.
So you said that you like cooking.
Yeah, I do actually. So when I was in college, I actually worked for, so I worked 3 jobs when I was in college for the first 2 years. And one of the jobs I worked was at a country club in Tampa, Florida. And I worked for a chef. And I learned a lot about cooking at that point, and I still use it today. So I tell a lot of young people when they're, before they get into like a profession, if they're not going to go into cooking, I'm like, it's always good to have a job that you can learn something like that, because it is a skill you take into the rest of your life. So like, I like making, I always tell people my secret ingredient is wine. I like using wine in all my meals because it tastes good once you put the alcohol down.
And what do you like? What do you cook that your friends likes the most?
I can make a really good chicken marsala, but I have a beef stew. It's like a beef bourguignon with a port wine. I can do pretty good. Every time we have a party here, I tend to make a big pot of it. My partner is an event planner, so he has. We tend to host a lot of parties for clients and friends. So a lot of times I'll make a big pot of it's like a beef stew with port wine in it. So it tastes pretty good. It's very rich, but a lot of people tend to like it.
Would you like to be invited to one of those parties one day, okay?
If you're ever in California, you can come anytime.
Nice one. Next question, Sean. Let's do it. Okay, Sean from California. Next question for you is, what do you like the most about your best friends?
Just like honesty. I'm just going to be like that. That for me, it's just honesty. You don't need to be a certain way. You don't need to be a certain type of person. Just be real with me. As long as you're a real person and you're not, and you know what I'm saying? You know, you're just not fake or giving me bull.
I see.
I don't ask for anything else.
And your best friends, they live in California as well?
I have no, because I moved around. I have some friends that are in Florida. I do have some friends that are still in like New Jersey area. I have people who've moved around. I would say my closest friends are just people I know on Facebook now because we don't live in the same area.
I see. All right.
Yeah, honestly, I commented on a friend's post the other day. I'm like, oh my God, we haven't talked in so long, but I still consider her like one of my best friends because she knows so much about me. She knows my secret.
Yes, sometimes our best friends, they know ourselves better than ourselves, for sure.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Next question, Sean. Let's do it. Right, before the next question, you know, this weekend is Halloween weekend. So tell me, do you celebrate Halloween?
I do celebrate Halloween. I have quite a few things I'm doing this weekend. So I'm going to be bartending tonight. So my profile picture on Facebook is actually my Halloween costume this year. So I'm going to be Spider-Man. Wow. And bartending tonight. So I'm working with the costume. So I like to bartend on the side. Like I said, my partner owns an event planning. So I'm bartending for him tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to go to the Castro and do some stuff. So kind of like a whole weekend of stuff we're going to try to get in there.
I see. Do you dress up every year for Halloween?
I have been since him and I didn't celebrate Halloween a lot, but you know, he's been somebody in my life that has definitely brought out like the more social part of me. So since being with him, I'm going to say we've done a lot more celebrating of Halloween. So last year we were actually Batman and Robin.
Wow.
That made an interest. You just to let your mind roam a little bit where that went.
Who was Batman and who was Robin?
I was Robin.
Interesting.
If you see my Facebook profile, you can see pictures of him. He's actually much bigger than I am. So yeah, he's actually going to be Captain America. So he's Captain America this year, and I'm going to be Spider-Man.
Wow. Next question for you is, who makes you laugh the most?
Who makes me laugh the most? I'm going to say my partner does. He's been that, I'm going to say, influence in my life that has taught me to laugh more at life. Because I want to say, you can even look at pictures of me. Before I met him, I was always very serious in all my pictures. I wanted to smile, and this, great influence, I'm going to say.
How long have you been together for?
Almost going on 5 years, which I know is not long to some people, but I know in the gay community that's like a lifetime.
Oh yes, for sure. Saying that, what's the biggest difference between both of you, and what's the biggest similarity?
Of two of us?
Yeah.
I would say the difference is that he's a very outgoing, social person. And when he hosts parties, he's on a microphone interviewing people. He's very, how would you like, and the word lost me. He's just very outgoing.
Entertainer.
I tend to be very like laid back and introverted. So he's brought that out in me, which I'm happy for. And I would say the similarities and what attracted us to each other, because we actually met on Facebook, is that we both enjoy doing fitness, and he's a business owner, and I'm very serious about my profession. So I think it was like a work ethic and being physically active is what brought us together, and then we just wound up dating.
Wow. And fitness always been in your life?
No, when I was 35, I lost 80 pounds. I was 240, 37-inch waist, I want to say. And wow. I wasn't happy with myself. And I said, what can you change and what cannot you change? So I decided, like, well, you have control over this. So start working out. And I got into fitness, and my life has been so much more enjoyable. I've noticed that not only does it make you feel better when you like the person you see in the mirror, but it's also for your mental health. Just working out every day and being physically active, it will change a lot about your life. I mean, I used to be on medication for my heart. I'm not on it anymore. Like it just changes so much, and I'm just glad that I took that lifestyle on.
And what was the wake up call that you got? Like, okay, I'm gonna change my lifestyle from now on. Did something happen, or you just naturally thought, okay, I just want to be healthier?
So I had just moved to California, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I realized, I'm like, when you get out of the shower, you're ignoring the mirror. You don't look at the mirror. And like one day I decided, like, you need to look at yourself. Why don't you like yourself? And I kind of had that internal conversation. Like, there's something you can change. You can, because I just got out of a relationship. So I moved to California and then broke up with my ex immediately, pretty much. That was like 6 years ago. So I'm going to say yeah. And 6-7 years ago. My years may be awful, but yeah, it was just one of those things. I was doing a lot of internal reflecting, and I just looked at myself and said, why are you unhappy with yourself? Do the changes you have control over. And then I just, like I said, like once I started doing it, I started realizing that there were other things that benefited from it. I was doing better at my job. I felt better about myself. My energy got better. It just, my concentration got better.
Very good. Very good. Next question, Sean. Let's do it. Okay. Next question for you is, if you met someone sad in the street, what would be your approach or your advice to this person?
If they were sad?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just ask what's going on. And I don't know. Like I have talked to people before, just like randomly, and it's just really like, why? I would initially just ask the question, like, what's going on in your life? Why? Because there could be multiple reasons why somebody could be sad. So it would just be getting an understanding what they're going through, and then just trying to relate to it. Because I've been through some shit where there's something I've been through that can relate to it.
Yes, sometimes those people, sometimes they just want to be listened, or sometimes just to have a company around them, and just to realize that if they need any help or any support, someone is by their side.
No, I agree. want to be heard and know that they're not alone in their struggle, and that the struggle that they're going through has a solution. And when I share with them, like, I've been there, I found a solution. It's possible. So maybe that's a better way to phrase it.
Absolutely. Ready for another one?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. I can see you are a good dancer. I can see.
My partner's Mexican, so I've had to learn to do salsa.
Oh, there you go. I can see you're learning very well, for sure. Before the next question, Sean, tell me what you like the most about your job. What's the most joy of it? And also, the flip side, what's the most challenging part?
So, in my current role, and in previous roles too, like, I tend to do a lot of training and have people reporting to me. And I think the most I get out of it is teaching people how to become better at their profession. And that's been the most rewarding thing for me. When I have somebody come back to me and said, I got a better job because of what you taught me, or I'm doing better at my job currently because of what you taught me. So that's the most rewarding part of it for me personally. I like to see other people grow. The most challenging thing, and I think I would say, like, maybe like on a negative part of the spectrum, would be like, I work a lot of hours. I mean, I don't know if you call that for me. Like, it took me a while to get back to you. I mean, I'm working from 7 a.m. to 8 o'clock at night some days. So it's just a lot of hours. I put a lot of time into it. I don't get paid more, but
You are a proper workaholic. That's what I call it.
you know what? I don't want to be a workaholic, and even my partner, because COVID changed everything. I work from home now, so it's easy to be working all day. It's especially for like someone like me who I just want to do a good job, you know. So that's going to be that's the challenging part. I'm currently trying to do it, is that work-life balance, because even he has said to me, I'm mad you're not spending enough time away from the computer. You need to stop.
Yeah. You are lucky to have someone watching you. That's good.
No, I tell people all the time, you're in a good relationship when somebody compliments you. You know, they have to be able to be that opposing side that's complimenting to your bad habits, I guess it would be a good way to put it.
Next question for you is, tell me something special that you won and how did you win it?
Something special that I want?
You won as a prize or something that you won, and how did you win it?
I'm a very unlucky person. I've heard you ask this question before too, and I was trying to think of an answer. I've actually never won anything. Like, I've achieved at work. Like, I've won awards at work, but they were always done through hard, like doing something. But I've never won like a lottery or something random. It's always been like I had to put in some sort of effort to get it. And I would say, like, so it sounds boring, but the best things I've won are awards through my jobs. But I've never been lucky enough to win like the lottery or like a monetary amount or anything like that.
I don't think it's boring at all. I think those prizes, they are the one that you go like, you know what? I deserve it. Or it come from a good place, because at the end of the day, it come from hard work. So it's a good prize.
No, I mean, I will, if I reach, I try to like guide people who are like around 20 years old, you know, like younger people. And I just tell them, like, no, like the most rewarding things in life are the things you put hard work into. Like, you got to do it. You can't expect anything for free. You got to put the hard work in. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate truth, I'm going to say.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's,
to just
say again, sorry?
I said, you understand that, I'm pretty sure, because you have to put hard work in your channel just to get that.
Oh, absolutely. It's a daily work. I literally work every single day on my channel, like literally, you know. I have my full-time job at the same time. I work on my channel, but I don't see as work. I see as a joy, because it's physically sometimes, you know, sometimes I remember when I started the channel like 2 years ago. I remember there was days that I did 10 interviews in one day. And actually, I don't do that anymore, because when I did the interview, I could see my body language, like very tired. I was enjoying, I was having the time of my life. But physically, I could see that I was leaning, I was like this, so I wasn't there. So I said, you know what? You need to balance. You need to work hard, but at the same time, you need to listen to your body to see how things are going. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree with you. You're right. Just looking at your body, even tell age
Yeah.
what your mental concerning what you're. No, I totally agree with that, and I get it definitely.
Next question. Let's do it. Look your Mexican moves.
Well, definitely doesn't come from the Irish side of me.
Next question for you is, tell me usually what's the first thing that you think about when you wake up, usually?
It's gonna be horrible. I first wake up, the first thing I'm thinking about is like, I gotta start work soon. That's like really thing I think about. I'm like, okay, get into that mental mind state. I told you I have to work a lot, and I get I'm passionate about my job to the sense that I want to be a good professional. I want to advance my career. I want to make money. It's just like that. It's not like I don't live and breathe it because I just love everything I do. It's just I just want to be successful. So yeah, when I first wake up in the morning, I'm just like, you got to get ready for work.
Do you have like a morning ritual?
Yeah. So I set my alarm for 5 a.m. because I don't get out of bed till 6. So I need that hour I need an hour to just lay there. I around on my phone, like it's stuff like that. Like I'll go on YouTube or I need a moment to just start waking up, get my mind. Like I wish I could jump out of bed and do like exercises or yoga or something. No. I'm the person who I need to set an alarm, and I need like an hour grace period of just kind of waking up and getting into it. So yeah, that's what I do in the morning. And I caffeine anymore. So I've been doing this with caffeine, so that's been even harder on me because I recently was diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, and so since my heart rate is off a little bit now, like I had to give up caffeine, which was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It took 30 days, I want to say, for my body to adjust after giving up caffeine.
And nowadays, do you drink or do you eat something else to cover the caffeine that you're drinking? There's something that you have more often now or not?
A lot of water. Since I go to the gym a lot too, like there's always a case of bottled water here.
Let's see. All right. Next question, Sean. Let's do it. Before the next question, as you lived, you from New Jersey, and also you lived some time as well in Florida. What's the best memory that comes to your mind when you think about New Jersey and when you think about Florida?
The best memory of New Jersey, and I even still go back now. I grew up kind of like in a mountain area, kind of like a rural area. So it was, I would say that's the part I enjoy the most. It's very laid back. The people there just seem to be very chill, and there's not a lot of people. It's a little bit more rural. It's, to be specific, it's outside of Allentown in Pennsylvania. So like, it's just a very like chill place, and it's relaxing in my eyes. Like compared to what I'm used to now, it's very laid back, and that's what I enjoy about it. And those are my memories. Very, I will say, growing up there, it was a very masculine area. Wrestling and football were what every boy was raised to do. So I will say, growing up gay, there are some good, there are some bad memories. I'm very grateful for the upbringing that I have. I have had some people say to me, like, you're not natural with the way, like, no, you just don't understand. I was raised a different way. Like, unfortunately, like I tell people sometimes, like, unfortunately, God, this is going to sound horrible, but I had the gay beaten out of me as a teenager. So it's just that that it was how I was raised. As an adult, I can look back at it now and be grateful for it, but at the time it was hard. So it is what it is. I'm just going to say that. I'm sure you understand.
Absolutely.
And then in Florida, Florida is just one of these areas where there's a beach. No matter where you go, there's always a beach somewhere. And that's what I loved about it, it is very much a beach lifestyle. And I always lived, like, I lived in Orlando for a little bit, and I lived in Tampa for 15 years. And it was just nice. It was the beach. Like, I just used to love that. There were some jobs I had that you would drive in the morning and you would be going across, like, the bay and just seeing the sunrise or sunset on the water. It was just, that to me was beautiful. And that's what I enjoy the most. And I miss so much just like that lifestyle, because it's beautiful. It is really nice over there.
I 2016 I worked for Disney Cruise Line. I was based in Port Canaveral, and
Oh,
and I was like, oh my God, it was 4 month contract, and I'm from Brazil, and where I come from, Brazil, in the part where I'm from, Brazil, is the same weather, literally. I being Florida, I was like, my goodness, I felt like my childhood because, as you said at the beginning of the interview, there's the hot season and there's the like the insane, and it was like, my goodness, it can be very hot for sure.
oh, I didn't know you're from Brazil. Okay, that's interesting. Makes a lot of sense. Is that where your accent is from? Is from Brazil?
Yeah. Brazil, yeah. What did you from Brazil?
Go
Again?
I always wanted to go to Brazil.
Yeah, it's a country that if you go, it might be tricky because you don't want to go back anymore.
Oh.
No, if you go to Brazil to visit Brazil, you don't want to go back anymore. You don't want to go back to the US anymore because you're gonna be so attached to the country. That's what I meant.
Country and the men.
Next question for you is: tell us about your first kiss and your first love.
And my first love.
Yeah.
My first kiss. This is funny. Okay, so I was in junior high, and everybody I knew had kissed somebody. No, I was in middle school. It was middle school. It was like 7th or 8th grade, and everybody I knew had kissed somebody. And I had this girlfriend because I dated girls until I was 20. I had this girlfriend who I had not kissed, and I was nervous. So we went on like a school trip, and one of her friends was on the trip, and everybody was making fun of me because I never kissed somebody before. So they made me kiss all the girls in like the back row. So there was 3 girls I had to kiss to learn how to kiss. And I remember that, and because I got yelled at because they said I bit their tongue. But it's just such a weird memory. Like, it wasn't like this romantic thing. It was like, oh, your girlfriend, you need to learn how to kiss her. You need to kiss us so you can be good for her. And it was in the back of a bus. I remember we went to a trip to Washington, D.C., and we were all sitting in the back of the bus doing Truth or Dare. And that was my dare because they all knew I had never kissed a girl. I think I was 12 or 13 at the time.
Wow, you kissed someone in a big style. My goodness, that's amazing.
I don't consider it big style. To me, it's so embarrassing. It's like I said, all 3 of the girls bit their tongue, and I got made fun of for so long after that for quote unquote biting the tongue, you know?
In your first love?
I would say my first love was in my 20s when I first came out. So when I was 20 years old, that's when I first came out for being gay. And I met this guy, and we were in a relationship for 8 years, and we lived together. And I would say he was my first love. To this day, I still look back at it and I'm like, you know what? I'm not in love with this person. And I know we have some bad memories, but there's always a love there. There's always going to be that part of my heart that just like remembers that as being my first love.
Of course, and that's what the beauty of meeting people and have a connection with them. Even if it didn't work out, I mean, at the end of the day, it did work out because you had a 80 years relationship, with the up and downs. But when you have this memory that warms your heart and you're always going to be there, why not? I think everyone leaves memories for us to build the person we are today. So that's what matters.
No, I learned a lot about myself. I don't think I would be successful in my current relationship if it wasn't for experiencing, I would say, like the bad things in a prior one. Like, I learned a lot about myself and how I should conduct myself in a relationship to be successful for somebody else. And one of those things is self-confidence and learning to not be, how do you want to say it? Like, I've learned to, like, don't check somebody's phone. Don't be in their business. Just trust somebody and just know they're with you for a reason. And just be confident about that. And like the relationship I'm in right now, I've never picked up his phone. I've never looked at his personal stuff. I don't have to. I don't need to. And I do think that's an important thing that if you want to be successful in a relationship, that trust is a foundation.
For sure. And again, relationships, in the past, they meant to go through for you to be happy in the relationship you are right now. So it counts for sure.
You have to experience bad things to enjoy the good things.
Totally. 3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Right, before the next question, as you mentioned like a few times now about your sexuality, and you also said about growing up wasn't very easy, but regarding your family, did they support you?
This is actually a really good question because I remember, okay, I'm going to be honest about something. I remember when I think I was like around 20-ish. I don't remember exactly what age it was. I remember my father saying to me, I will never have a gay son. But this day now, him and I are almost best friends. I remember I even texted him last night because I told him I was a little nervous about doing a YouTube interview to check out your channel. And he was just making comments to me. And it's funny because I can tell he's trying to relate to me. But I mean, I just had to say, I have to give credit where credit is due. Him and I have a great relationship today. And I mean, he didn't have to, but I'm glad.
So yes, so he didn't have the support, but now he understands now.
Yeah, so like now on this day, like he would be my partner, and he recognizes my partner as my partner, and that means more to me. I feel like he'll actually say his name by name, and which is a big deal, you know. Like when I was in my 20s or 30s or something, like, he would just be like him or your friend, but he now actually like recognizes, like he'll say his name. He'll say like your partner to me. So that's a big deal. And I know for a lot of people, like, you know, like, oh, well, that's needed. I'm like, well, no, he comes from a different generation, a different time. So to see that progress over 20 years for me has just been so rewarding. And I'm glad. I'm happy to tell people, like, yeah, me and my father are like pretty much best friends now.
Wow, that's very nice, very sweet. And I understand your point. Sometimes we need to understand as well that they are from other generations, the way they've been raised. And sometimes it's up to us as well to let them take their time as well. Do you know what I mean? We know that we are gay since whatever, very, very young age. And they just find out now or a few years. So they need their time as well. Right. Okay, next question for you is, if you could go anywhere right now, where would you go and why?
I've always wanted to see Japan. I don't know. I've always loved like cherry blossoms, anime, and like that Japanese aesthetic. And I've always just wanted to go see the countryside of Japan, because anytime I see imagery of it, it's so beautiful. So I just think that's on my bucket list, is to take a trip to Japan.
Actually, that's one of my thing on my bucket list as well. I would love to visit Japan. I think I would go back a different person. I think they are ahead of their culture. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. So that's another thing too. Like, yeah, I do think, like, you know, just mentally too, you would get stimulated in like a way. But I just also think the landscape is so beautiful over there. To me, that fits my aesthetic. Like, I'm actually planning on getting a tattoo on my arm, and it's going to be like a very Japanese inspired tattoo.
Wow. What's the meaning of the tattoo?
I haven't decided yet. So I'm trying to find an artist, because I want to work with an artist and come up with something. So I don't have it specifically in my mind. I have some ideas. I do want it to be meaningful. Like, I have a tattoo on my leg that's a saying. It's a proverb in Japanese, that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to like relate to that in a way. So I want it to be imagery that involves like a journey, and it being, you know, so something like that. But I want to work with an artist, someone who can help me conceptualize it, because I'm not an artistic person. I'm a very logical, and I tend to work with numbers every day. I'm not very creative. So I want someone who is creative to kind of help me put it together.
2 questions left for you, Sean. Let's do it. Before the next one, as you're saying about your partner is Mexican, how is your your Spanish language? Can you say what's your favorite Spanish language? Your favorite Spanish words?
My favorite, so I'm going to say them on YouTube, because unfortunately I feel like he's taught me like the stuff, and I understand it. It's more difficult for me to speak it. I always think the funniest thing, this is going to sound so, they love to use the word gringo. This is going to sound gringo, but I always like donde está baño? Like, where's the bathroom? I always use that as some like stupid go-to. Like for me, that's comical.
Okay, next question for you.
Like te amo mucho, I love you very much. Also a good thing to learn.
Good one, very good.
Else is not very YouTube friendly, I'm gonna say.
Better to keep to yourself.
Exactly.
Next question for you is, what is the strangest or the funniest gift have you ever received?
When I was a teenager, because I loved anime, I think I was like 19, I was given a Sailor Moon doll as a joke gift. And I did think it was kind of funny because at the time I was struggling with my sexuality. So I was just like, oh, why would you dare give me that? But now I would love it.
Funny. Ready for the last one?
Yeah, let's go.
Last question. Oh, your face was like, okay, let's go. Let's do it.
I'm more comfortable now. I'm not as nervous as I was in the
It's always like that when I have my guests on the show. The beginning they are like a bit nervous, a bit tense. In the end they are like just chilled, like completely chilled. Good. Last question for you. But before the last question, through those 2 years that the world went upside down regarding the COVID crisis, yeah? Personally for you, what's the biggest positive impact that brought to your personal life? At the same time as well, what's the most negative one, if you can share?
I'm gonna start with the negative first.
Okay.
I think it's important to think about this. I think it's important for people to relate and to be honest so that people understand that you were not alone in your struggle. I was affected severely by quarantine because I work from home. So, I mean, I'm going to say there was over a year. I want to say it was close to 14 months. I was literally just waking up and going to a room, working and going to bed. And I'm not dealing with the best personalities throughout the day. So, I mean, it hit me hard. I felt isolated. I felt like people were just calling me stupid every day. It really affected my mental health. And a lot of bad habits surfaced from it. And I would say like that's what this year has been for me, is removing bad habits that came from it, getting back to life and paying attention to my mental health and that's where I'm going to go into the positive now, is that I've kind of learned a lot about myself and how I react to these types of situations. And I think a lot of people are in that situation. That's something I realized this year, that I wasn't alone, and I'm happy when people talk about it because I think it's important for people to know you're not alone in that struggle. A lot of us were affected negatively by this isolation and loss of income and just this. It was a lot, and none of us are alone. We all struggled, and now we have to work together to get out of it and recognize that you shouldn't feel guilty about anything you went through.
Absolutely. I like the message. Good one. Right, last question for you is, I think this one's gonna be very easy because I could hear some noise. Are you a cat or a dog person? And if you could be an animal, which one that would be and why?
So you did hear, I'm definitely a dog person. I love my dogs. They are what helped me through quarantine. If it wasn't for their companionship, I don't know if I would have survived. So I love dogs. And I guess because I'm so connected with dogs, I would love to have the life that they have. I mean, they get to wake up at 10 a.m. every morning and they lay in bed and the life that they live is so, I'll take that life any day. I mean, because I take them on trip, like they've gone to Mexico, I take them to Las Vegas when we ever go to Las Vegas. So like they get to live the life. And it's funny too, because they're small dogs. So whenever I go to Las Vegas, the showgirls love them. Like I have so many pictures of them with like the showgirls.
Oh, and if you could be an animal, you said a dog as well?
Yeah, like I said, since I'm connected to it, like I will take that life any day.
Amazing. Okay, Sean, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. One word for family.
Family, my father.
Money.
My job.
One word for love.
My partner.
How about life?
My first word was hard. I was going to use the word hard.
Okay. How about
my mind?
How about sex?
What if I use the same word?
One word for politics.
Politics. Ooh. In today's environment, I'm going to say this polarizing.
Okay. Religion.
Polarizing. I'm using the same some of these.
Fear.
Fear?
Yep.
Stress. I'm going to say this. How do I want to word that? So when I say stress, I just mean like something like this. This made me fearful. So like putting myself out there outside my comfort zone, that's what scares me. So like stress, that's what I mean. Getting stressed over like putting yourself outside of your comfort zone, that's what scares me.
Are you stressed right now or not?
Not now, but I did stress over this beforehand. Not gonna lie.
I found so sweet when you said to me, I said to you, oh, I'll see you in 1 hour. And you said something that, oh no, something like that. I got a bit confused. Now I understand, it's because you were a bit nervous.
I told you this is how I don't do something like I've always wanted to do like a public video on YouTube or something like that. But you know, like I don't, that opportunity doesn't always bring itself up, and it makes me nervous. So I was kind of glad when you reached out to me, and like I said, also too, like it allowed me to get out of my comfort zone, which I think is important for people. If something is outside of your comfort zone, absolutely say yes and do it.
I'm so glad you accept the invitation because we are literally making memories. I love it.
I hope so.
Next question. Next word is desire.
Success.
Regret.
See, I know you're supposed to be one word, but when I think of the word regret, I'm one of these people that think like you should never regret. So even though I may not like some things I have done, I try not to regret them. So I think like the first thing that comes to mind is I'm trying to find a word that would say like don't. Like that's the thing I think. Like when you say regret, my first initial response is don't.
Amazing. Success.
Like I think striving. So that's the word that comes to my mind because I feel like I'm still trying to be successful, you know? So I don't think I'm one of those people, I don't care how successful you are, you should still have a next goal. So it's almost like thing pull, it should always keep going. So whatever word, I guess, would align to that. Sorry, I'm not very good at finding specific words.
Not a problem. There are no right or wrong. Just what comes to your mind. Next question. Next word is wish.
Money. I wish I had money.
Happiness. One word.
Now. I'm going to say now.
Good one. How about New Jersey? One word.
Real. I'm going to use the real. And what I mean by that is this, I feel like every time I go back there, the people there are they're a little bit harsher at times, but I find them to be real. You know, I mean by when I say real, I just feel like they're more honest and straightforward.
I see.
And I like that.
Florida, one word.
Laid back, if it's considered one word.
And the last one now, USA.
How do I want to word opportunity? I'm going to use the word opportunity.
Good.
And my partner, he moved to America from Mexico at 30 in his mid 30s, and he opened the business eventually, and he lives a great life. And he has taught me very much what it's like to be an immigrant and what you can gain in this country if you have the work ethic. You have to have the work ethic, though. I hate to say that. I know a lot of people think like, you know, it's a biased area, but no, I tell people all the time, I'm like, my partner didn't even know English when he came to America, and he opened a business. And we're not rich, we're not wealthy or anything like that, but it's still something to be said. And he's one of my heroes because I will say that he's inspired me so much. and just has taught me a lot about what it's like to be American. Because when you see somebody achieve so much, just like, I don't know.
Very proud. I can see your eyes shining of being proud of your partner. I can see that.
Somebody who asked me, like, he's been the best influence in my life. Like, I'm glad him and I met, and it was just weird. It was one of those met on Facebook. Like, it was just weird how our crossed. But yeah, it makes me very happy. I will say that.
It meant to be. It meant to be this way. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, what is the most beautiful thing about Sean, and what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What he would say?
I think he would tell you the most beautiful thing would be my eyes, because he tends to.
Let me see. Let me see closer. Let me see closer.
Lighting. They're blue. Can you see?
Ooh, yes, absolutely. I can see beautiful eyes.
Not very bright right now, but yeah, they tend to get brighter. So I would say that. I mean, I know that's aesthetic. I mean, if it wasn't going to be an aesthetic thing, he probably my work ethic. Then outside of that, what I need to work on, I'm going to say he would just see my bad habits. He got exposed to a lot of my bad habits. I'm sorry, I won't get into detail what they are, but through quarantine, because like I said, it did expose a lot of them, and he was the driving force behind changing those.
Let's say if I would ask the same question to your dad, would be the same answer?
My dad, what would be the thing? I think he would say, I think also for him, he would say my work ethic. I think because he's a professional, and so I do know that's how we bonded when I got older, where we were able to talk about work. I think he would either speak to like my work ethic or something I would do in that line, something I need to work on. He would probably say something about work. He would probably say like I need to, because I go to his house and I'll work from, so I work from home. So I go and visit him a few times a year, and I'll work from his house for like 2 to 3 weeks. And he always comes in, I'll get out of a meeting and he'll be like, you should have done this, or you should have. So if you were to ask him that question, I honestly think he would come up with something that's work related. Like, well, he needs to do this better.
Oh, sweet. Very sweet. Let's play now, Sean, and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. I'm going to start following your moves now, like very, very Mexican moves. I love it. You can ask me a question now, Sean.
Well, originally I wanted to ask you, like, so, like, I know you do all these interviews and everything, like, you know, like, what is it that you're trying to achieve and ultimately, like, I guess, achieve with just reaching out to random people?
Right, I love the question. I would like to, first of all, to be able to have this platform in a bigger proportion, where I could connect with much more people around the world, where I could have that as a full-time job. And also, I've got other projects as well based on this one that I'm working harder to get those projects as well started. For example, I would like to go to do Willy the Magic Box for kids. I would like to do Willy the Magic Box after midnight, something more spicy, something more, you know, people talking about something more spicy, something more open that's we're not allowed to talk in this platform. So yes, I've got other projects as well. And also, I would like to do that interaction. And I'm gonna do that. I can't wait the future. I would like to meet my guests that is on the show. I would like to meet them face to face and have a conversation based on this interview that we did in the past. So I have over 700 people now around the world. So I can't wait to meet all of those people in person and do like one-to-one conversation where we could do like a second interview or something that maybe some topics that we talk about that we could maybe talk in a different way in person and maybe have more time to discuss a different topic. So yeah, Willy the Magic Box World Tour, imagine, amazing. We'll go around the world and meet my guests, and yeah. So I have other projects as well based on this one. But I strongly believe, Sean, that when you do something with passion, you know, other opportunities will come as well. So I believe that the most I work, the most I get more comfortable doing that, the most professional I get, I think other opportunities will come, and I'm going to expand other projects as well.
No, that's amazing. No, and I'm interested in any of that. If you get them open, And absolutely for like an after midnight. I'm trying to be very politically correct and like work friendly right now. I don't know. So I would love to like pull that down and actually like be raw. So after a midnight thing would be cool.
Absolutely, and people that can come more kind of, maybe more sexy, or maybe sometimes I realize that sometimes people, they feel more comfortable when they express themselves maybe in a different way, wearing different clothes or something like that. You know what I mean? So you never know.
So you want to pull some off and go that way.
I don't know. I can come with a glass of wine, maybe get more, you know what I mean? A bit more, let's say, less shy, and I don't know, maybe wear something that makes my guests feel more comfortable, more connected, or maybe can wear the same outfit or you see, you give me ideas now. You are giving me ideas, Sean.
Or strap.
Ooh, you see, we're getting there. Did you enjoy the interview?
No, I did. Another question too, because you just mentioned Brazil. So you were you born and raised in Brazil?
Yes. So actually, it's been this year 20 years since I left Brazil. So I was born in Brazil. I left Brazil when I was 19, and I moved to Portugal. I had the opportunity to live in Portugal, but I always wanted to live in a country where I could speak English every single day.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah. When I was 12 years old back in Brazil, I started studying English, and it was my dream to speak English every single day. And of course, back in Brazil, we have this American dream to live in the USA, but because my parents couldn't support me like financially, they didn't have support, so I couldn't get visa or anything to live in the USA. So long story short, I had the opportunity to move to Europe, to Portugal, and I didn't think twice. And I'm so glad I'm here in London. And it's very funny how life sometimes takes you in a direction that you're not expecting, and you find your way, you find your life. And I'm so happy that life brought me to where I am right now, because I couldn't see myself living other place than London. Have you been in London before, by the way?
No, I was actually just gonna say like that's on that. I want to go to London so bad. Like that's like because I just got a passport. Honestly, like I have a passport for many years, and London, like on one of my like because I go to New York area all the time. So for me, like I consider like London not too far. Like it's just an easy plane ride down.
Yeah.
I would love to like fly over back east and just go to London and then go back to my dad's house. So yeah, I want to do that real soon, actually.
Let me know so I can be your guide in London. I can show you around here. I think, as you said, there's so many. I think daily there are so many direct flights from London to New York. I have no idea how many. Like literally, it like a lot of flights. So it's very easy. It's not that difficult. So you can come for the long weekends and go back to New York City.
Well, why I haven't gone is just because like it would be nice to like know somebody or know what I'm doing, so like I might take you up on that, so you beware. Okay,
please do. It'll be a pleasure. Let me go in advance and organize for you a good tour in London, for you never forget your first experience in London. by a Brazilian guy. Thank you so much, by the way. Thanks so much for taking the time. Thanks for challenging yourself. Thanks, I think, as you said at the beginning, sometimes when you go out of your comfort zone and you never know what you can find, you can find beautiful things out there. And I'm so glad that there's some, as you mentioned, there's something that you always wanted to do. And I'm so glad that we had this moment now, because as I said before, you literally made history. So it's going to be forever here now. And I'm glad you took the chance. Thanks so much for being kind and sweet. But before you go, if you can share a positive message, something that you live by.
Treat people the way you are treated. If you don't put it out there, you can't not expect the back. So if you don't put it out, that's what I would just say. You can't have an expectation beyond what you're willing to do yourself.
Absolutely. I think it's a very basic, it's clever to think this way. If you want to be treated well, treat other people well as well. And everything what put it out there is going to go back to you. So be clever.
Exactly.
Sean, regards to your parents, to your dad, regards to your partner, and we keep in touch. It was a pleasure to have you in the show. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you very much, and enjoy weekend.
You too. Thank you. Have a
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.